Should the Spurs trade DeRozan? Listen, to me, that's not even the real question. It's not should they, it's where will they. The Spurs have to trade DeRozan. This San Antonio thing is an absolute mess. It's a train wreck that's headed nowhere fast. Just last night, the Spurs lost to the Detroit Pistons by 34 points. That's the losing 7-13 Detroit Pistons. This is a Greg Popovich coach team. The Spurs are headed nowhere fast, and they're at a crossroads. So in this journey, I'm going to break down not should they trade DeRozan, but where will they trade DeRozan, which is actually the better question. Let's go ahead and jump into this thing. Welcome back to Journey of a Ballaholic, the best talk show for basketball addicts. I'm your host, General Hannibal X. Now in this journey, I'm going to be discussing should the Spurs trade DeRozan. Now, the reason this is a question is because they have Aldridge and they have DeRozan. These are the two all-stars, the two highest paid players on the roster, and they've got to make a decision. Because as we know, the Spurs right now are trash. 7-14, they've won 2 games out of their last 10. 2. They've got 1 win. Listen to me. 1 win all season against teams that are 500 or better. 1. This isn't a true Greg Popovich coach team. The 22, 23 years of them making the playoffs, that's gone. Coming into the season, I had the Spurs ranked 8th. Now, people talked about them getting DeJounte Murray back and that they were going to be better this year. And I could understand that. But I felt that even with Murray coming back, even with Derek White showing over the summer that he could take a step forward, getting Lonnie Walker healthy, I still felt that this team was going to win less games and be in a lower seed than they were even last year. And it looks like that prediction's coming true. But even more so, they're not even going to make the playoffs. Right now, there's a lock for the top 6 teams. The Lakers, the Clippers, the Rockets, the Jazz, the Nuggets, even the Mavs. That's the top 6 teams. That's set in stone pretty much. So 7th and 8th seed are up for grabs. And I think that the addition of the Portland Trailblazers adding Carmelo Anthony, they'll grab one of those last 2 spots. And I think that last spot is going to be battled for teams like Phoenix, Sacramento, Minnesota, young teams that have already gone through that, that hitting that reset button and trying to build the right way. The Spurs are in a situation, they're at a crossroads. They have to get rid of one of these guys. And I'm going to tell you why I think DeRozan should be that one. DeRozan, number one, is younger than LaMarcus Aldridge. DeRozan's 30, Aldridge is 34. You're going to get back a better return on your investment by trading DeRozan. Let's just keep it real. Aldridge, like I said, is about to be 35. He's not what he once was, but he's okay. He's solid. He can still give you buckets. The Spurs need defense. Right now, I think they're ranked number 26 in the league in defense. That's unacceptable. DeRozan is not a defender. Let's just call it what it is. He's not a very good defender. What's even worse is in the modern NBA, the 2019-2020 NBA, where your perimeter players shoot threes, DeRozan just doesn't take them and doesn't really make them. He's 2 for 8 on the season shooting threes. 2 for 8. I think he hit 7 threes all of last year. That's not going to cut it from a perimeter player. Even the big man, LaMarcus Aldridge, he's 11 for 31 from threes this season. So he's taking them more so than DeRozan, and he's making them. DeRozan won't even take them. So you're not an elite defender. You very rarely even shoot a 3. So you're not really spacing the floor. And what's worse for the Spurs, DeRozan is in a position where the Spurs actually have young players that need time and opportunity to develop. A guy like Derek White, over the summer, Derek White balled out. Derek White showed that he should get more playing time. He's gotten more, but I think he's around 22, 23 minutes a game. That's unacceptable, Pop. That young kid needs to be playing about 30 minutes a game. And he can't do that because he's coming off the bench. The starting shooting guard is DeRozan. DeRozan's occupying shots. He's occupying time. Listen, Derek White is a 3-point shooter. Derek White would help the Spurs be a better offense. Offensively, they're ranked 13th. And Derek White, like I said, he's not an elite defender, but he can't be too much worse than DeMar DeRozan. Even a guy like Lonnie Walker, who's just not getting playing time, is another guy that could be getting minutes at that wing spot. But DeRozan's occupying that time. So if I had to choose, if the Spurs had to choose, and I think they will, between Aldridge and DeRozan, once again, both of them are making, I think Aldridge is making $26 million this year. DeRozan's $27.7 this year. Next season, DeRozan will be making $27.7, but Aldridge's contract goes down to $24. This summer, DeRozan has a player option for next year. You want to get rid of DeRozan. Get something back. You shouldn't have traded for him in the first place. Now that you have, you got to get the best out of it. And there's a lot of rumors that are flying right now. There's a lot of teams that we're hearing. The Orlando Magic, we've been hearing reports that they're very interested in DeRozan, possibly giving up Aaron Gordon, which if the Spurs could get Aaron Gordon for DeRozan, I think that would be a really good return on their investment. I don't think Orlando should do that, but I think that would be a really good turn on their investment. Now, Miami Heat, they're another team out there that we're hearing possibly want to bring him. I don't understand why when you have Jimmy Butler, you've got Kendrick Nunn. I don't really understand that from the Miami Heat's perspective. And I also think that Pat Riley's just too smart to do that. Bottom line, I think you could possibly fleece the Orlando Magic. I don't think that Pat Riley's going to fall for that one, Bob. So where should DeRozan be traded? Well, I think it's a team that's not being discussed that would be the absolute perfect fit for DeRozan, as well as an amazing return for the San Antonio Spurs. Greg Popovich, if he's smart, would be getting on the phone right now and forget the Orlando Magic package, forget the Miami Heat, forget all of those other teams, the Detroit Pistons, forget all of those teams. There's one team he needs to get on the phone with right now, and that's the Brooklyn Nets. Check this out. If the Brooklyn Nets were to send out a package of 4 players for DeMar DeRozan, you could look at something like this. DeRozan's $27 million going out in exchange for Spencer Dinwiddie, Joe Harris, Garrett Temple, and Jared Allen. I'm going to tell you why that works for both sides. The Spurs would be getting back a nice, young point guard. Because DeJounte Murray is not what people thought he was going to be, number one. Number two, Spencer Dinwiddie can handle that pressure. Number two, they would be getting back in a legitimate three-point shooter in Joe Harris, which the Spurs need better three-point shooting. And most importantly, they get back a legitimate 5-man to keep Aldridge at the 4. They could be a rim protector, they could rebound, and give you be an energy guy in Jared Allen. And then, like I said, you get Garrett Temple as a contract filler. That would be perfect for the Spurs. You're not going to make the playoffs. You got 2 All-Stars. You barely made the playoffs last year with it. You're not going to make the playoffs this year. Hit that reset button. Now look at it from the other side of it. DeMar DeRozan, a guy who didn't want out of Toronto, wanted to be there, got shipped out behind his back, had to come to San Antonio. He dealt with it. It hasn't worked out. It's time to go. Send him back to the East and send him to the Brooklyn Nets. Now imagine this. Kyrie Irving, DeMar DeRozan, Taurean Prince, Kevin Durant, Karis LeVert, DeAndre Jordan. Man, that right there, that's a championship team. Oh, that is, not this year, because Kevin Durant's not there. But that's still a playoff. They're a playoff team right now. They're probably going to end up being the 6th seed in the East. You put Kyrie Irving and DeMar DeRozan together, they're a playoff team this year, and they could possibly get out the first round. And then when Kevin Durant comes back next year, who in the East can see that team? Once again, you would give up Spencer Dinwiddie, so you're giving up depth for a top-level talent, but that's what you need to be able to win a championship. If you put a starting lineup out there of Kyrie Irving, DeMar DeRozan, Taurean Prince, Kevin Durant, and DeAndre Jordan, what team in the East is beating that team? The Spurs have to make a move. Aldridge, to me, he's at best, the number 2 option on a title team. Honestly, I think he's number 3. Guys like Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, I think he needs to be in that role. If he's the 3rd option, I think he can be that on a championship team. is your first or second best player, it's not gonna happen. DeMar DeRozan, because he's not a shooter and because he's not an elite defender or an elite scorer, I don't think he can be the number 2 option on a championship team. Put him as the 3rd option. But I don't think they're gonna be able to move both. I've heard an offer of DeRozan and Aldridge going to Portland. I don't see that. Portland right now should not mess with what they have. They started off struggling. They brought in Carmelo. He's playing that 4 spot. And I think they should hold on to Melo, keep him at that 4. When Nurkic comes back, if he shows that he's healthy, you can then ship Whiteside out and get something, and you can work around that. Don't bring the LaMarcus Aldridge back to Portland. Don't go and add DeMar DeRozan, who can't shoot. Send him east. And Popovich has been known to do that since we saw he did that with Kawhi Leonard. The time is up. The Spurs have to hit reset. They should have did it when they traded away Kawhi Leonard, but they didn't. Better late than never. The Spurs have to be one of the biggest disappointing teams in all of basketball. You have a Hall of Fame coach, arguably the best coach in the game, and 2 All-Stars. And you've got 1 win. They played 21 games. They have 1 win against a team that's 500 or better. It's unacceptable, man. So, what do you think? What do you think about the Spurs trading Aldridge or DeRozan? Which one would you choose? Number 1, if you had to choose one. And if you're going to trade, if DeRozan is that one, where do you think is the best package? Like I say, Orlando has been the biggest team, the biggest name out there. And like I say, if the Spurs can get Aaron Gordon back in that deal, let's say they get an Aaron Gordon, that right there, it makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. You move DeRozan out, you clear space for the Derek White, you clear space for Lonnie Walker for them to get more playing time, and you put Aaron Gordon and LaMarcus Aldridge, they could play that 4-5 spot. Like I said, Aldridge really is better at the 4, but you got to do what you can do because you don't truly have a legitimate 5. If they can do that, okay, I like that. But if you can't, the better deal for DeRozan, the better deal for him, who didn't ask to be traded to San Antonio, send him to Brooklyn. Send him to Brooklyn, let him get a chance to get back in the playoffs. Don't send him to Orlando where they may barely just get in there. Send him to a team where he can have a chance to win a championship. And the Spurs, you get a nice young package back. You need to improve your defense. 26th ranked defense right now, it's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. They need better shooting, people who are willing to shoot the ball. Dinwiddie, like I say, that Dinwiddie, Joe Harris, Jarrett out, you get those 3 guys back for DeRozan, Spurs actually may sneak into the playoffs. They may sneak into the playoffs getting that kind of quality depth back. But if they stay on pace with what they have right now, it's going to be a sad season for Spurs. It's going to be a sad season. Now, they did start off slow last year, but this just has a different feel to it. They just lost about 34 points to the Detroit Pistons. I think they have more losses like that coming. Now, December 15th is the first date when you can make these trades for all the guys who signed as free agents this summer. So that'll be the day to start truly looking at what's going to happen, how things are shaking out, listen to the Woj bombs and the Shams Charanians, kind of seeing what's going on. But as of right now, they need to be on that phone working that thing with Brooklyn until December 15th. Go into the comment section below and let me know what you think. As always, I appreciate you taking a look at this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Hit that like button, share this with your friends. But listen, make sure that you tap that notification bell after you subscribe so that you'll be able to be notified whenever I drop new videos, which are every Monday and Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.